I wonder what my crafty goals are for this year. Stay tuned to find out. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Kazzalistic. Today, if I could talk properly, will be a fairly short video, just doing my crafty goals for the year and just reviewing what I managed to achieve and what I didn't from last year's goals. I have it all written down in here. So last year's goals were to make an angel. God, the only one thing I had dentures, wouldn't you? Let's try that again. To make an angel baby blanket, to make a cardigan for myself, to make a nativity scene, to complete the sky blanket, to learn to read charts, and if I was successful, to do 2 kits that I bought that were partly written as a pattern and partly in charts, to make an afghan for myself, and to make some memorial roses. So, I would say I did probably about half. I didn't do too badly. I mean, you never manage everything, and these aren't resolutions, these are just goals of things I'd like to do, because obviously my situation as being a carer, I can never guarantee what time I've got. So, these were things I just wanted to achieve to keep me moving forward in my learning curve with crochet particularly, but just in creativity in general, because it's an important part of my life and also an important part of how I stay well. So the first one, make an angel baby blanket, that I did complete. I haven't written dates or anything down because I don't really think it's that important. I did complete that earlier, well, I think it was about summertime, I think I did that. White baby blanket with, I think it was the fan stitch. I will try and see, I can't remember if I took a picture of it or not, but I will try and take a photo of it. I can't remember, I think I made it when I was having a break from YouTube during the summer. I really can't remember, I have to go back through my videos, but I'll try and see if I took a picture of it, and if I did I will put that at the end of the video. The next one was to make a cardigan for myself. Well, those of you who have been with me from the start will know that I did get quite a way through doing that. It's the first cardigan I ever attempted. I was using a Bob Wilson 123 pattern and tutorial. I got all the body done, so the front and the back panels. I got one sleeve done and I was part way down the second sleeve, and I just got really bored. The yarn was quite plain, it was a beige colour because I thought it would go with everything, and I didn't have that many yarns where I had a lot of the same colour at the time. You've got to bear in mind this was over a year ago, before any of my YouTube friends had sent me any yarn or anything, so didn't have anything particularly interesting colour wise, and I think it was a combination of I just got bored of doing double crochets, that's US terms, treble crochets in the UK, and the colour wasn't inspiring me, so I almost completed it. So I've got a sleeve to complete, and I've still got the edgings to do. The other thing I will say, now I know that Rochelle of what's her channel called, Queen's Yarn Boutique, I think it is. I'll link her channel down below anyway, so you can find her. She's in America now. She started doing one, I think, similar sort of time as me, and she got so far through, quite a way through hers, and she found that hers came up too big, and I think that from what I can remember, she frogged it all. The trouble is, when I've put that much work in, and even if it doesn't fit, I'm a bit reticent to frog things back when it's taken me weeks to make. I'm quite a slow crocheter. Plus, it's the first one I've made, so it's it's an achievement thing as well. So I have the same problem as Rochelle in that it's come up too big. Basically, Bob Wilson's pattern, you sort of measure this sort of part here from the armpit to the collar from a top that you've already got. Well, of course it depends on what top you choose. I chose one that's quite comfortable. It's a little bit baggy, but it's not big on me. I think perhaps I chose the wrong top, but it's come up quite big. The only thing that hasn't come up big is the arms, but on her tutorial it's just kind of straight sleeves and it's nipped at the cuffs, and I didn't like that, so I've been I know that I did gradual decreases right down the arm. So the arms fit fine, they fit lovely, so I'm glad I did that. So I've learnt something through that, so it wasn't a wasted effort. But it will be a bit big on the body, but I am planning to finish at that, but we'll come to that when I do my goals for this year. So that's sort of over half done, so that was almost achieved. Number 3 was to make a nativity scene. Well, those of you obviously that have been with me for a little while now will know that on the run up to Christmas I did it. Struggled. That was tough, trying to get that done in amongst getting ready for Christmas. I certainly wouldn't recommend doing it that close to Christmas. I would suggest you do it in the summer when there's not so much pressure, if you ever decide to have a go at it. I did enjoy making it, but obviously I was just a little bit stressed time wise trying to get it all on camera before Christmas finished, because you don't really want to be doing nativity characters in January. It's just everyone's fed up of Christmas by now. So I did it, so that was a huge achievement for me. And I'm pretty pleased with One of the Wise Men. I think I did go into it where the one with the purple headdress. I need to fiddle around with his headdress a little bit and perhaps alter that. But for now he's been packed away, and that'll be something I'll think about next when it's nearer next Christmas. I would like to try and make a shepherd, but I've decided that as it's only one character, that I will probably do that on the run up to Christmas of this year. I haven't set it as a goal, but that's in theory if I remember to do it. That's something, and then I would feel like you've got all the main characters in the set there, and I don't know why they didn't do a shepherd in it, but that's pretty easy because I can just do it as Joseph, which I've talked about before. So that was a completed goal. The next one was to complete my sky blanket. Now, many of you that have been with me from the start are probably wondering what actually happened to my sky blanket because I stopped talking about it. Basically, I got behind. I think the last time I mentioned it, I mentioned that I was a week or 2 weeks behind. The problem was I'm a carer. Now, the time I decided I would look out the window to decide what the sky was midday. But I found that I kept forgetting. I was in the middle of chores. And of course, being winter, you can't set it at sort of sunset time, because obviously the time for sunset is going to change vastly between this time of year and the summer. I tend to be up quite late at night into the early hours, so I'm not the earliest of risers. I have to go with obviously the body clock of my friend that I care for. So basically I kept forgetting to look at the sky, and I got about 2 weeks behind, and then you kind of get to the point where you're making it up. So I didn't really feel that was going to be a proper sky blanket. So I decided just to stop, because I was stressing myself out trying to do something every day, and I don't always have time to crochet every day. I try to, but I don't always manage it. Particularly on a Tuesday is a particularly busy day for me, so I don't often get to do it then, and sometimes the weekends can be quite busy as well. So it just depends on what I'm doing. So what I've decided to do, and I haven't actually put this in my goals, I don't think. Oh no, I have put it in my goals for next year. Or to be the squares, because I was doing small granny squares. I am going to repurpose that, but I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. Number 5 was to learn to read charts and make kit. I had 2 kits that I had as Christmas present, not this Christmas but the Christmas before, which was of a dog and a teddy bear. Absolutely gorgeous patterns. Unfortunately, patterns were were partly done in written form and partly done in chart form, and I couldn't read the charts. I I have learnt, I've practiced a little bit with the butterfly shawl, which I still have to finish. So I have tried. I understand the premise, but of how charts work, but I get very confused as to which direction it's supposed to look in. So that's still a work in progress. So I've got part way there, but I need to do some more practicing. So that's a partial tick for that one. Make an afghan for myself. I didn't actually achieve that last year, although I did start it making one between Christmas and New Year, and that is my secret video that will be coming up soon. I'm very pleased with it. I haven't finished it yet, obviously. It's going to take quite a while. Yeah, so although I didn't get it actually done last year, I did start it, so that's again for me a partial tick. And number 7, which was my final one, was to make some memorial roses. Now these will be those, and I did actually do them. I did them at the early part of the year. The reason I hadn't put them on camera is that it was for the friend of the mother of one of my friends that passed away, who I've not really talked about on camera because I actually find it quite difficult to talk about him, because we were quite close. His name was Dave, and he was one of my best friends. He passed away of a form of sarcoma cancer which started in his lung, and he passed away, I think it's 3 years ago. It's October is the anniversary of his death, so it's just over 3 years. I think it's 3 years. I'm losing track of time. It flies by. And his mum very kindly at the beginning of last year gave me quite a substantial quantity of yarn. It was about 5 carrier bags full of yarn that she was no longer using, and she kindly gave to me and just said that I had to make her something in return. That was the deal, rather than me giving her money, which I did offer, but that was her condition. So I did start working on it straight away. I knew what I wanted to do. Obviously I'd done one memorial rose for my friend Jimbo for his partner, and one for his parents. So I wanted to do the same for Dave's parents. But I actually did a set of 5 roses, and I had a green bottle that I've stood them in. They came out really well, and I was really pleased with them. Fortunately, I was able to see her just before Christmas. She popped in just very briefly, so I was able to give them to Ben. They are red roses, and the reason for that was because Dave supported Brentford Football Club, and one of their main colours is red. So that's why. I don't really want to talk too much. Not that I don't want to talk about Dave, but I'll get upset, and I don't really want to do that on camera. So I did achieve that. She took some pictures and put them on Facebook, which I'm going to nick, so I hope that's okay, Barbara, if you're watching. So I will put a picture of them in the vase, actually, and it won't be my photo, it'll be hers, but I'm sure she won't mind me doing that. And I will put that at the end, and I will put a picture of me and Dave together as well, so you can see who I'm talking about. Okay, so that was my goals for last year. So I didn't do too badly. I certainly did at least half, so I'm quite pleased with that. So my goals for next year, sorry if I keep looking down, it's because I've got it all written down in here. So my, oh yeah, no, that's alright, I thought I'd missed one then. That's one's for next year. So my goals for, I say next year, this year, 2017. I'm still getting my years muddled up. You know that first couple of weeks when you get confused what year you're in? I'm doing that a lot. So number 1 goal will be to finish the dreaded cardigan. I hate having unfinished objects, so I really do want to finish that. Plus I can start using it then if it's finished, even if it's just for sort of, you know, mulling around the house. Even if I don't wear it out, it'll be sort of, you know, I can use it as a comfy thing. So that's number 1. Number 2 will be to repurpose my sky blanket. So I did I think about a month's worth of granny squares that were 2 rounds, so they're quite small. I'm thinking that probably what I will do is either undo them and use them towards the scrap blanket, or I may just reuse them as they are and make a granny scrap blanket, and possibly send it to Willy Hugs, so that it gets at least some use out of it. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but that will be either one of those options. Number 3, which is nicking from one of the goals the previous year, is to complete an Afghan for me. I have started it. I got given some really lovely yarn for Christmas, which I will share in another video, and I have started it and I've got quite a way through it, but I think I'm going to have to buy some more balls because it seems to be eating the yarn quite a lot with the pattern I'm doing. But I think you guys will all really like it when you see it, so I'm really pleased with it, and I'm actually quite enjoying it because it's once you get in the rhythm of something, it's one of those Afghans where it's only one or two rows you really have to count, and then you've got a couple of rows where you just shove the stitches in. It's easy peasy. So I don't have to think too much. I can do it while I'm watching TV, so I'm really enjoying that. Number 4, to get better at reading charts, a lot better at reading charts, and hopefully to actually complete the kits that I referred to in my goals from last year. I'd really love to get them done. Number 5, and this is a big one for me, is to create my own pattern. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm not going to constrict myself to say it's going to be aragorami or a blanket or clothing or anything, because you all guys that have been with me for a while will know that I dabble in a bit of everything. So it just depends what inspires me. Probably won't be till later in the year, depending on what time I have. But that's a goal. I would just sense of achievement to say, yes, I can do that, tick off the learning curve box. Number 6 is to use up scraps. I have a whole drawer full of very small yarn cakes and tiny little brown balls of, and you just got a little bit and it might be useful for something and I haven't used it. So I've got a whole drawer of scraps, so I've decided that I'm going to use that up. And the pattern I will be using will probably be a Jada in Stitches tutorial that I think she calls it scrap gown, I think she calls it. It's going to be pretty simple, and that will probably go to Willy Hugs when it's completed. I'd rather somebody gets some use out of it than it just sit in a drawer doing nothing. And the last one, which is going to be a bit more of an unusual one, is to make a sleeping mat from carrier bags. Those of you that follow, I'm trying to think if I put it on my personal Facebook or my Kazzalistic page now. I should have checked before I turned the camera on, shouldn't I? I think I might have shared it on both. But I saw something where ladies in America were getting plastic carrier bags, the sort you get from a supermarket, making them into yarn, I don't know how you pronounce it, yarn made of plastic, and then crocheting with them with large hooks. I fancied having a go at that, and they were making mats for homeless people to sleep on, and I thought that was a really good idea. My friend that I care for used to be homeless, so I'm actually and I've always been very passionate about helping the homeless anyway. We used to have quite a lot of homeless in my hometown. They tend to be the unseen people in more recent years, because people get pushed out of towns now, but nobody wants to see people sleeping on the streets. I'm from a small market town. It's there's a lot of very wealthy people around here. I ain't one of them, unfortunately. There's a lot of very poor people and a lot of very wealthy people. There's the divide in where I'm from, it has grown substantially. So I've always been aware of the homeless, and now obviously caring for somebody that was homeless on the streets for 2 years, I've actually learnt a lot, things you don't think about. For instance, in the summer, I never thought about it when I saw somebody homeless in summer. You think they're okay, they're not cold and all that kind of thing, but they need fluids, they need bottles of water, obviously they need food, but just simple things like, and for women on the street, sanitary stuff, obviously, if you're a younger lady, sort of obviously before the menopause, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, so there's lots of little things that people can't afford, and you know, and obviously sleeping on a floor, even if you've got cardboard, is very uncomfortable. So my goal is, I have a cupboard full of carrier bags. I'm still not sure if I've got enough, so it may be the latter part of the year that I'll have to do it, but I would like to make some yarn from the plastic carrier bags and make it into a sleeping mat. Now, I don't know, I'm going to approach Woolly Hugs and see if that would be something they'll be interested in, and if not, then I'm going to see if I can find a charity that would be interested in taking it, because I would like somebody to benefit. If I can't find a charity, then I will go and see if I can find anyone homeless from my hometown and give it to them, because if you're off the floor, and obviously being plastic, it's waterproof, I think it could be a really useful thing. So it'll be interesting trying to crochet with something different, and making it into yarn in itself and stuff. So I thought that would be an interesting project that perhaps you're not seeing on other channels. I'm quite excited about doing that. I like the thought that it could potentially help somebody that's in really dire situation, because a lot of us are either 1 or 2 paychecks away from being homeless ourselves. So, you know, and there, by the grace of God go I, that I've been lucky that I've never been homeless. It's a tough way to live, and you do get treated quite badly. You know, people pee on people you know, that are sitting in doorways and stuff when they're homeless. It's absolutely disgusting. All sorts of things I could tell you about that I've learnt from my friend. It's absolutely incredible. So it's something I'm very passionate about, and I'm really quite, of all my goals, that's the one I'm probably most excited about, just because it's something different, but it's still crochet. So watch this space, and I said that'll probably be the latter part of this year, because I need to accumulate enough carrier bags, and obviously we have to pay for them now, so so if you've got any carrier bags you don't want, let me know. I'm sure everybody's got a cupboard full. It would be good to have enough to at least make one blanket to make a difference to even just one person. I like to treat people how I would want to be treated, and I would want somebody to go that extra mile for me, so that's what I'm trying to do with this. So that's my crafty goals. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry if I waffled a bit. But yeah, I think some of them are interesting goals this year, so I hope you'll enjoy the journey with me. So that's it for today. The next video will be about the missing airman from my hometown. So if you're not interested, obviously feel free to skip past it, but just bear in mind that there is a mum desperate to find her son. So, and I know lots of you are mums, so you know what it's like. And then after that will probably be either the yarn that Jan's recently sent me, or the stuff I got for Christmas. Probably the Christmas stuff first, just to get it out of the way, and then I can pack stuff away and tidy up. So I'm sorry there's nothing yarn related to actually show. As you appreciate, on the run up to Christmas I did a lot of stuff. Yeah, and then it's obviously you get that slump, and because I'm working on like Afghan, I haven't got a lot of stuff to show straight away. So yeah. Oh, and in the Christmas gifts video I will put photos up of the things I made for Marie, Sean and Amy, so that you can all see what I made, because I think the agreement was that we would show what we made on our own channels. I think was what we decided between us. I hope I've got that right, girls. So sorry, bit of a froggy throat today. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I didn't waffle too much. I probably did, but talking is a gift. I've always been good at it. So that's it. So remember, until next time, to stay well, happy crafting, and remember to stay true to yourself. Bye.